Hey guys, today we are doing sum and difference of cubes. Go ahead and get some paper out. You are absolutely going to want to write down these formulas and these examples that I'm going to go over. So there are actually two formulas for this one. We already did difference of squares. This one has sum and difference of cubes. So there's going to be a sum formula and a difference formula. So let me go ahead and get started with those. I'm doing the sum formula first. I know this because I have a plus. Plus is sum. And so anytime you have two cubes that are being added together, the way you factor them, now this formula is a lot bigger than your difference of squares one, but it is not difficult to do. So I do want to break it down for you just to make it a little bit easier. So anytime, like I said, you have a perfect cube plus a perfect cube, you're going to get the cube root. So the cube root of a cubed is just a. It is important to pay attention to your signs. Once you get the hang of how the different numbers go, just pay attention to your signs. So if you start off with a plus, your very first symbol is going to be a plus. These are always the same no matter what. You start off with a plus. Your second symbol will always be a minus. It's the opposite. So your first sign's the same. Your second sign's the opposite. The last sign is always plus. This will never ever change. So it's important to make sure you get your signs right. Now, if I'm doing the difference of cubes, so the exact same thing, but this time I was doing difference. So a cubed minus b cubed. So pay attention, these have two different formulas if this is a plus or a minus. They're going to look very similar though. Thankfully, they follow the exact same rules as the first one. So in the first one, it said if you start with a plus, your first sign is a plus. That is still true. If I started with a minus, my first sign is still a minus. These are always the same, no matter what. It said the original sign and the second one are opposite. That is still true. I started with subtraction. My second sign is addition. These are always, no matter which one you're doing, opposite. And again, that last one is always addition. So just keeping the sign straight will make this easier on you. Notice they have the exact same rules. Keep the sign, change the sign, always plus. If you need to write that down, keep the sign, change the sign, always plus. Keep the sign, change the sign, always plus. If you need to write it down, please do. But that's how you break these down. Now let's get into a couple of examples so you can actually see what this looks like. So I'm going to factor x cubed minus 64. So both of these are perfect cubes. This one's x times x times x. 64 is 4 times 4 times 4. Now, again, I recommend writing down your perfect cubes. It's going to make your life so much easier. Honestly, I can do it right over here. So 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 64. 5 cubed is 125. And you have a calculator, so you can always, check it. But it's helpful if you can just recognize these, and you don't have to waste your time going through the calculator trying to figure out if it's a perfect cube. You just recognize it. 6 cubed is 216. That's pretty much all I got off the top of my head. But you can do the calculator to get any of these. So I know 64 is 4 cubed. 4 times 4 times 4. So let's break this down into the two factors. Make sure you make this second set of parentheses bigger. This only has 2 terms in it. This one's going to have 3. Now remember, my first sign is always the same. I started with minus, this one's minus. My second sign is always the opposite. Started with minus, this is plus. And my last sign, no matter what, is always plus. So if you can go and get your signs right, it makes this a lot easier. Now we're just going to break it down. So if a cubed, the cube root of that is a, the cube root of x cubed is x. Same thing, the cube root of 64 is 4, so my first factor is just x minus 4. Now sometimes it helps, you don't have to do this, but sometimes it helps if you write what each one is. So in this one, a is x and b is 4. So if you can write those down, it makes it a lot easier to plug it into here because sometimes this can get confusing. So x cubed made x cubed, 4 cubed made 64. So there's a and there's b. Here I have a squared. Well, if a is x, that makes it x squared. And then I have a times b. That's what this means right here. So if a is x and b is 4, x times 4 is 4x. And then I have b squared, b is 4, 4 squared is 16. So these are my factors for this example. You're just taking the formula, figuring out what your a and b are, and then plugging them in. Let's do another example. Remember, if I'm ever going too fast for you how you're writing, you can always pause the video, catch up, and then hit play again. Never forget that. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is 27x cubed plus 125. Remember, I have a smaller set of parentheses and a larger set. Now, the rules don't change just because this is a sum of cubes, just because I'm adding. The first sign is first. Keep same sign. The second sign is the opposite. The opposite of addition is subtraction. The last one is always plus, never changes. So, again, it helps to identify your a and your b. So for this one, take it piece by piece. The cube root of 27 is 3, and the cube root of x cubed is x. So a is 3x. And here, the cube root of 125 is just 5. So b is 5. So when you're plugging in a and b, you're really using 3x and 5. So my formula says that a goes here, that's 3x, and b goes here, that's 5. This one is a squared. Well, 3x times 3x is going to make 9x squared. The middle one says multiply a and b together. 3x times 5 is 15x. And the last one is b squared. 5 times 5 is 25. Oh, that's how you do that one. And I do want to do one hard one just in case you come across a hard one. That way you know what those look like. So let's do 216 x cubed minus 8y to the 6. Go ahead and fill in those signs. I started with minus, so this is going to be minus. The next one is opposite, and the last one is always plus. And then we can identify a and b. So the cube root of 216, guys, if you don't know how to do this, put it in the calculator. Calculator will do cube root. Cube root of 216 is 6. Cube root of x cubed is x. Cube root of 8 is 2. And the cube root of y to the 6. So what times what makes y to the 6? That would be y squared. So if I have y squared times y squared times y squared, that makes 6 y's. That's y to the 6. So now we just got to fill in a and b just like our formula gave us. A goes here, 6x. B goes here, 2y squared. This first section is a squared. A is 6x. 6x times 6x is 36x squared. Feel free to use a calculator if you need it. This middle one is a times b. Be careful here because I have a lot going on. 6x times 2y squared, 6 times 2 is 12. And then I have an x and a y squared. All that goes in there. And then the last one is just b squared, so 2y squared times 2y squared. 2 times 2 is 4. And y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. So this is what a hard one looks like. I don't know if you're going to come across any hard ones. I don't think they get quite this hard, but just in case, now you know what they look like. So that is all for sum and difference of cubes. Have a good day, guys.